Hello, Victini video. Today we're going to take a look at a team here for the Willpower Cup. Want to try out some battles here today with the Pawniard XL version in the lead. Mine is like a lucky version, so my IVs are not really perfect, which also makes this Pokemon a little bit more squishy. We have our Victini as a safe swap, which has basically no hard answer. So while this is basically the hardest answer that you can have against this, but also take a look at this now. We're going to be able to survive one challenge move and we can get to 2 V creates, which is going to get the opponent super low. So there's literally basically no hard answer for a Victini in this meta. It just always does its insane damage even if it's resisted. There is nothing that really wants to take it. It usually can take one move from Dark type as well. Like an Umbreon with Foul Play, I think doesn't knock you out immediately, same with the Mandibus. So basically Victini is one of the coolest Pokemon that you can run here right now while still always getting a ton of damage on the opponent. We see a Sneasler here against us, which is fine for us as we run the Air Slash version of the Mandibus here, which is going to be able to now farm them all the way down and we don't even have to throw anymore. And we win with 2 shields on the opponent's side. Just going to be a short video here showcasing some battles as we already have the cup coming out in like I think around 2 hours now actually. Like time zone, time shifts or whatever was there, so we have like now only 2 hours in front of it. So basically also that's why my content basically comes 1 hour later than usual, but of course for like those people in the US it's going to change I think this weekend again. So yeah, just for this time around I think it's all 1 hour later than usual. We see the Hyper Beam landing there. I actually shielded the first move before there and sadly it didn't work out and I shielded the bait and they actually had the Hyper Beam there. I didn't expect them to have Hyper Beam and now we are forced to go into our Pawniard, which makes this all a little bit more awkward and also kinda I think going to lose us the game. We're basically down to just 1 Pokemon and we see the Skuntank coming back in. We can go for an Iron Head, which does a ton of damage, but Victini sadly doesn't have the power to farm down at this point. Because my opponent has of course a Claydol in the back, which is going to completely hardwall us. There is nothing that we can do here anymore. They're going to let this move go through as well, which does not even knock them out. So we have to let this move go through and there's not a lot that we can do here anymore. If we shielded the correct move and if we caught the bait, we would have been fine, but exactly the opposite happened here. So this is how you can lose the match, of course. But again, I think we had some play there. It was just unfortunate that they hit the Hyper Beam and I shielded the Night Slash instead. So very well played by the opponent though. We will see a Raichu in the lead. Raichu is a cool Pokemon. It's still actually tricky. While you have a super effective fast move and charge move here, it's still kind of tricky to deal with. What is not tricky to deal with is Cresselia. Cresselia is a Pokemon that gets completely hard-walled by our Victini. It has not a single move that Victini doesn't resist, so basically fire types with the psychic typing are completely hard-walling the Cresselia from the opponent here. They can only go for Grass Knot. They can also theoretically go for the Moonblast, but it doesn't really matter. Because all of it is resisted, we will be able to get a ton of energy. We have an energy advantage now. We have already a move stored, and we will see the Raichu coming back in, which would get a one-shotted by this V-Create, which will get a one-shotted by this V-Create, while we see a Charmer coming in. We had some lag. I had a ton of lag in general doing those battles. I don't know if the servers are broke again, but we will see that we can now go into our Pawniard, go for one Iron Head. Going to not knock them out immediately with it, but like one more fast move basically will be enough to knock them out and we will be able to win this game. Next opponent, we will see a Pawniard against Lucario. This is horrible. Of course, Lucario is basically something that I don't really expect to see too often. Like maybe I'm wrong with this assumption, but I don't really expect to see a ton of fighters. So Lucario is something that I'm not really prepared for this team, and you see it here as well. They're gonna go for one Power Punch, which is nice, but I actually make a huge mistake. I don't know why I shielded this move. Like it doesn't make any sense at all to shield this move. That was my own mistake, which is going to definitely cost me a lot here, because we would have easily still survived one Power Punch as far as I can see that there, but yeah, at this point it's kind of tricky to still come back. I'm pretty sure they run the Shadow Ball, so I'm not going to shield it up here either. It's going to be just the Power Punch where they can go for another one, and now basically the Lucario kind of sweeps us. But again, I didn't really expect that people run Lucario too often in this meta. First one I've ever seen there. Also did some test battles already yesterday on stream if you haven't seen them. But now we have a double charm user against us here as well, which is of course amazing, and this is going to be a little bit tricky. But again, you see how cool Pawniard is. Pawniard is also a very strong Pokemon against the Wobbuffet there. We will be able to go for a Night Slash there. And here's my mistake. I should have went a little bit longer for the farm down. I know that I just barely don't get to my Iron Head. I think Iron Head would have knocked out the opponent because the light part is super squishy. But because I just thought maybe I need some more health, if I just farmed up a little bit extra against the Wobbuffet, I would have been fine and would have got to the Iron Head in time, but that was kind of unfortunate. Next opponent, we will see here one Rapidash. Rapidash is of course also a strong Pokemon in this meta. They go for the Body Slam bait, very strong bait there of course, but I had to call it, and I'm going to go now for the swap into my Victini against the Play Rough, which is amazing. We see the Umbreon coming back in, which is okay for us. We see like some lag here from both, but it's from both sides, as you can see here. My opponent actually going to be able to get a ton of energy now, which I didn't want to. I didn't want to shield here at all, but this was the game that we play. But I kind of had to get some damage on them now. Like what I would have done without the lag, I would have just went for one recreate and let my Victini go down, because I would still have my Mandibuzz in the back, which would have hardwalled them. But yeah, of course, with lag, this is basically impossible. So my opponent's still going to get to a move here against my Mandibuzz with their Umbreon for one last resort. They got so much energy in the lag. I thought it was on their side, not on my side, but it was on both sides, it seems like, and it just didn't benefit me in this situation. But I will be able to farm down the Rapidash, and we see the Overpull coming in. I'm just going to go straight for the Iron Head here and see if they want to let this move go through or not, and they want to shield up, which is kind of sad for us, but we still get to another Iron Head, which is going to pick this a little bit easier, as this is going to do a ton of damage against them. They're going to go for one Awkward Tail, which should knock us out at this range, just barely. I think that's exactly basically how much it would do, and we will be able to still farm them all the way down with our Mandibuzz. Going to the next match, we will see the Pawniard against Raichu again. Again, a very decent matchup. You can stay in here, but it's a little bit tricky. Really interesting here, both of my opponents had the Wild Charge only, I think, and I didn't go for the Thunder Punch. Like, at this range, Thunder Punch would already put you into a range where I had to shield as well, so in the 2-shield scenario, I wasn't sure if I would actually win this, but we will be able to go for an Iron Head here, and we will get this Drapion low. We can swap into our Mandibuzz, and Mandibuzz is a very decent Drapion answer here. Of course, we can just tank those Awkward Tails pretty easily, as we will see that we can just farm them all the way down, get all the energy. We will not just farm them all the way down, get all the moves here, and yeah, we just take all the moves here from them as well. Mandibuzz is very bulky, my IVs are pretty horrible as well, which is interesting, but yeah, now we can see that this Awkward Tail doesn't do too much. We're still going to have a ton of energy. If they come back with the Raichu, if they don't come back with the Raichu, they come back with the Incineroar. Incineroar is of course double kick now, which is interesting for this meta as well. We'll be able to beat a ton of the Pokemon. It might be kind of a meta breaker in this meta. Kind of want to take a look at this Pokemon as well, maybe, because you have access to the Dark type moves for like something like a Victini, for the Psychic type Pokemon, also those with Charm, and you have Fire type damage as well, and also the Fighting type damage for like the Dark types here. But yeah, we see the Raichu coming back in, and they cannot take one recreate here, as Victini is just going to go to town here, and we see that they go down. We'll see the final battle here. I think this is actually the first battle that I had in general here with this team, and we see a Rapidash against us. Again, Fairy Rapidash is a very good addition to this meta. We will be able to bait them with one Iron, with the Iron Head here, basically going for the Night Slash instead. And we will be able to shield up their move, which is going to be a Mega Horn. They actually go straight for the nuke, which is something that I didn't expect that they would run Mega Horn. It's definitely a fine move. I don't know if Mega Horn or Play Rough is better, depends on really what you want to face. For the Psychic types like the Wobbuffet, for example, the Mega Horn would be better, while for the Dark types, the Play Rough would be better. We see the Drapion coming back in here, another Drapion, another time where Mandibuzz can just go to town, tank all the moves, and we'll be able to farm them all the way down. Let's see what we can do. We will be able now to go for the charge move against most likely the... No, they're actually going to go in their own Mandibuzz. Their own Mandibuzz is a little bit tricky for this team, to be fair. Like, you have your own one and you also have your lead, which is pretty decent against Mandibuzz. But in this scenario, where my own Mandibuzz is a little bit low and also my lead is a little bit low, Mandibuzz can be an issue, but I will be able to reach this Iron Head in time now, which will get either the final shield, which it does, or like knock them out, like not knock them out, but get them low. And at this point of time, I can just let this move go through. I can go into my Victini, I think. Oh no, actually go into my Mandibuzz. Actually going to let them throw more moves because they had so much energy. They're gonna go for one Aerial Ace, which is fine for us. We can go for one Aerial Ace as well. Gonna put them into range now for the V-Create, because I don't think they were actually in range before. Maybe with the Quick Attack damage they would be. as we see the Rapidash coming in, we can go straight V-Create. And we will be able to win the final game. We're going to have this cup now available in a few hours, so stay tuned for the video then, and I hope I see you next time. Have a great rest of your day, and leave a like if you liked this video. Victini going to V-Create them all, and Victini is definitely a very good save swap in this meta. Bye!